Your breakthrough to conquering binge eating is coming. It is on its way. But right now, you might be in the thick of a struggle, of a challenge. You might be in the middle of feeling like you're almost breaking. Like, where is my breakthrough? I have been working on my relationship with food. I have released my food rules. I've deleted my fitness pal. I stopped weighing myself. I'm trying to not give in to my urges, but it's feeling really, really challenging. And you're wondering, when am I going to conquer? When is my breakthrough coming? And I'm here to tell you that before every single breakthrough, you might need to break. Actually, not even you might need to. You will break in order to have a breakthrough. In order to have your breakthrough where you fully conquer binge eating, there often is a challenge, a really big challenge that is presented to you to test yourself, to see how badly you want this, to test your faith. There will be a mountain in front of you. And on the other side of the mountain, there is you feeling like an unstoppable badass in your own skin. There's you being in the driver's seat of your food choices, not your urges. There's you being calm and present with your loved ones, not snappy and irritable. That's on the other side of the mountain. Now, you can't see the other side because there's a mountain in front of you. It's the biggest mountain. And you have to ask yourself, am I willing to climb the mountain in order to get to the breakthrough? When I don't know what that breakthrough looks like, I don't know what the breakthrough feels like. Can I be brave and willing to climb that mountain so that I can have my breakthrough and I can experience a relationship with food that feels absolutely effortless? You have to ask yourself that. Every single person who conquers binge eating, it's not a smooth sailing journey. It actually would not even be rewarding if it was the easiest thing. First of all, if it was super easy, everybody would have a healthy relationship with food. Second of all, if it was easy, it actually wouldn't be rewarding. You wouldn't be so freaking proud of yourself once you conquered, because it was like, meh, like anyone can do it. The reason it is going to feel so fulfilling, you're going to be so damn proud of yourself once you climb that mountain and you get to the other side and you conquer binge eating, is because you know that it wasn't a walk in the park. It wasn't rainbows and butterflies and sunshine and whatever the phrase is every single day. You were like, I had to navigate that comment that my aunt said to me that really hurt my heart, and I needed to heal my heart. I needed to give it everything that I could to change how I was speaking to myself, because the natural dialogue was just negativity. I needed to really work hard to not give in to my urges and remind myself that I could sit in discomfort. Like, that wasn't easy. That wasn't easy. That wasn't easy. That was a hard challenge. That was a difficult thing to do. But that's what makes it so rewarding. It would not be rewarding if it was a walk in the park. Just like, think about anything in life. You know, for me personally, I've always had to work hard. I was a competitive dancer, and there would be some dancers that were kind of just born naturally good dancers. And yes, I was a good dancer, but I came home after dancing for 4 hours. Usually during the weekday, it'd be from 5 or 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, I'd be dancing. And then on the weekends, I'd be dancing, and then I'd come home and I'd dance some more. I needed to practice. In school, some people would not even have to study. They just sat in class and I guess took in all the information and then wrote the test, and they did great. I got good grades because I worked really hard, but I needed to study. I needed to actually put in the work. I was the person that would get up at like 5 a.m. and study some more before the test, before the exam. I needed to put in the work. I was so used to putting in the work that when it came to healing my relationship with food, not only was I not expecting it to be a walk in the park, but I didn't want it to. I didn't want it to be a walk in the park. There's something so rewarding about putting in your time, your energy, and your effort to then experience this relationship with food that feels effortless. If it was easy, it actually wouldn't be rewarding. Why it feels so good to be binge-free today is not actually because I'm binge-free. It's because I remember all of the times that I didn't give in to my urges and it was challenging as heck. I remember when a comment was said to me, when somebody said, Lorna, you're eating again? And that absolutely crushed me, and I had to rise above that comment, and I needed to heal my heart. When I was going through gut issues, bloating, inflammation, not only was I struggling with my relationship with food, but I was like, I felt so uncomfortable in my own skin. I felt like the body that I was in wasn't actually mine. I'd show up to social events and not only feel insecure in my own skin because of how I looked, but because of how I felt. It didn't feel like this was my body. And so there were so many different challenges, and I remember every single challenge, and I'm grateful for every single challenge because it strengthened me into the woman that I needed to be. The challenges made me have to pull on resiliency in order to get to the other side. And that's what makes it so worth it. If you just naturally were smart and you did the exam and you got good grades, it'd be like, meh, yeah, I'm just smart. But if you were that person that like studied, and then you passed the test, it's going to be so much more rewarding because you had to put in the work. You had to put in the effort. I shifted my relationship with challenges. Instead of seeing a challenge as why me, I said to myself, when a challenge would be presented, my breakthrough is coming. So when I was going through gut issues while healing my relationship with food, there was a point in time where I remember thinking like, God, why me? Why? I'm already uncomfortable in my own skin. I'm already feeling out of control with food, and now I have to like kind of restrict myself because I can't just eat whatever I want. So now I have to think about food so much more because I have all these food sensitivities. Why? God, why me? Why? And then I said to myself, I need to break in order for my breakthrough to come. You might have to break in order for your breakthrough to come. Meaning you might have to go through the thick of it, the challenge, the crazy triggering comment, the gut health issues alongside of your relationship with food. Somebody making a comment to you, or one of the worst binges you've ever experienced. Sometimes you have to go through that. Sometimes you have to break in order for your breakthrough to come on the other side. And so I stopped looking at a challenge and said, why me? I stopped looking at a challenge to say, oh, I can't do this. And I started saying, this challenge is here to strengthen me, to build up strength within me, to build up resiliency, to step into my badass self, to show myself what I'm actually really capable of. And then I got fired up because I was like, my breakthrough is coming. And then every single time I experience a challenge, my relationship changed to that. And I said, my breakthrough is coming. My breakthrough is coming. And I stopped fearing challenges. But as the crazy person that I am, I actually got excited when a challenge would be here because I was like, number one, like bring it freaking on. Like I got this. But then also number two, like something incredible is coming on the other side of this. You don't have a breakthrough without the break. You don't. The breakthrough, you only have a breakthrough when something breaks you first. Most people are not willing to break. They want everything smooth sailing. I want to snap my fingers and I want to stop thinking about food. I want to poop my pants when I go to the bathroom and boom, I am healed. Like, it doesn't work like that. You have to be willing to break in order to experience the breakthrough. So the first thing is recognizing that the challenge being presented to you is there in your favor. I am so grateful for every single challenge that was presented to me on my journey because I became so strong. I did another live video where I shared about my at-home unmedicated birth and how conquering binge eating allowed me to go through that. When you are healing and a challenge is being presented to you, you have to change your thoughts. You have to change how you're speaking to yourself. You have to sit in the discomfort. When a strong urge to binge comes on, you have to sit in the discomfort. When a triggering comment is said to you, someone says, "Oh, you're eating again?" And that hurts your heart and you so badly want to go home and stuff your face because you're so uncomfortable and you're sad and you're mad and you're frustrated and you're annoyed and you want to comfort yourself. And you say, "Hold on a minute. That comment was not about me. That comment was about that person. And I need to strengthen my heart right now. I need to pull on everything in me to rise above that comment, to not let it tear me down, but to actually help me rise." It is going to require everything in me to not get mad, to not go and comfort myself with food tonight. But that's what strengthens you. That's what actually strengthens you. You build up resiliency. I call my clients badasses because when you actually conquer binge eating, you become so strong. You literally build up so much mental strength, mental resiliency where you can overcome anything. So that's the first thing. The first thing is you have to look at these challenges and recognize that it is there in your favor. And it's the hardest thing because when a challenge is in front of you, like who would want a challenge on their journey? You don't want a negative comment being made to you about your body. You don't want to have one of the worst binges of your life. You don't want to also go through gut health issues while healing your relationship with food. Nobody wants the break. Nobody wants the challenge. But you wouldn't actually build up the strength in your mind, in your body, if you didn't have a challenge. The challenge is what builds you. The challenge is what strengthens you into the badass woman that you know that you are. The challenges are what allows you to build up so much strength that literally anything can come your way and you're like, "I freaking got this." The second thing, you have to recognize that your breakthrough is coming. You can look at a challenge and say, "Oh, why me?" You can look at a challenge and say, "You know what? This is too hard. Maybe I'm just going to struggle with food the rest of my life. I don't know. Maybe I'm the exception. I struggled with my relationship with food since I was in grade 8 and, maybe it's just going to be something that I deal with my whole life." You can go down that path. Or you can say, "This challenge is here, but my breakthrough is coming. I am going to be that person who has zero thoughts around food as she's eating her lunch. I can be that person that orders something at the restaurant and take leftovers home without batting an eye. I can be that person that's calm and grounded throughout the day, not snappy with my loved ones. I can be that person that throws on a dress for her upcoming Christmas party and doesn't even have to try it on before going to the social event because number one, you feel damn good in your own skin. And number two, you know that you look hella good because of how you are taking care of yourself, the habits, the routines. You feel so freaking good in your own skin because you take the best care of yourself and you're not letting self-sabotage get in the way of that. And you say, my breakthrough is coming. Like, whatever challenge comes your way, you don't look at it as like, oh, why me? I don't think I can conquer binge eating. I don't think I can do this. You're positive. You have faith. You have faith to say, I may be breaking right now. This challenge is very difficult. I'm comparing myself because I threw on this dress and oh my God, my stomach looks so big. Oh, my arms, you don't like the way that you look, and it's challenging. But can you keep the faith to say, my breakthrough is coming? I am going to be that person that feels amazing in her own skin. I am going to be that person that everybody looks up to of like, yeah, I just effortlessly leave food on my plate. Like, I'm full. I have a healthy relationship with food. You're glowing. People are literally asking you, what are you doing? Because you're literally glowing. You're just so happy and you're just so healthy. That's what happened to me. You know, it's interesting. When I used to over-exercise and I was restricting like crazy and I was binging like crazy, nobody commented on how healthy or happy I looked. And I thought I was being so happy, so healthy. An hour of exercise, you know, crazily being meticulous about what I was eating. Nobody commented on how healthy I looked because I didn't look healthy. But when I actually stopped being like a crazy maniac person exercising and healed my relationship with exercise, and I started actually cultivating a healthier relationship with food, people started like saying to me, like, you're glowing. Like, you just look so happy and you look so healthy. People would say, what workouts are you doing? What are you eating? And I'm like, it has nothing to do with that. I love myself. Knowing what workouts I do doesn't even matter because I've actually taken off 6 weeks of working out so far, being postpartum, and I feel even better in my own skin. It's not about what workouts are you doing or how are you eating. It's when you have a healthy relationship with food and you deeply love the woman that's within you, you glow. You look healthy, you feel healthy, you're vibrating at this like beautiful frequency. People can feel it. And so I got here because when a challenge was presented to me, I didn't let it break me. Yes, I needed to break in order to experience the breakthrough, but I didn't let it break me. Meaning, when I had a comment that was said to me, you're fat, in grade 8, I rose above that. And yes, it hurt me. That's what made me start dieting in the first place. But I said, I'm going to rise above this comment. And this comment was said to me so I could develop the self-love that I needed to develop, so that I could actually change how I was speaking to myself. I saw that challenge as an opportunity to change how I was speaking to myself. Because if that comment was not said to me, sure, I wouldn't have maybe struggled with my relationship with food, but maybe I wouldn't have actually had the deep self-love that I have today, or the most effortless relationship with food that I have today. Maybe I might have had like an okay relationship with food or like an okay body image, but today it's like it feels the most effortless. I feel like an unstoppable badass in my own skin. And that's because a challenge was presented and I had to rise above that comment. I had to change how I was speaking to myself. I needed to boost myself up. I needed to fall in love with little Lorna. I said to myself every single day, my breakthrough is coming. I'm going to conquer. I had this level of faith that was so undescribable. Even though comments were said to me, even though I was so uncomfortable in my own skin, even though I was a health coach, a personal trainer, helping other women with their health and fitness, and I felt like a fraud because I was struggling with food behind the scenes. There were so many challenges in my journey. I had like nobody can figure out my gut issues. Every food that I ate, I drank water and I was bloated. I was inflamed. I felt like the body that I was in was not mine. Like I felt like I put my head on somebody else's body and I was like, this is not me. This is not me. I was snappy with my family. I was irritable. And I knew that that wasn't actually the real me. Like I'm this bubbly person. I'm patient. I'm calm. But the way that I was speaking to my husband, the way that I was speaking to my mom, I was like, this isn't me. But when you struggle with food, you do things, you say things that don't actually feel like you. And despite the challenges, I said, I'm going to conquer. I don't know, I had this crazy level of faith. I had a crazy level of faith that no matter what my circumstances are right now, no matter how big the challenges are, no matter how big that mountain is in front of me, I'm going to climb it and I'm going to get to the other side and I'm going to conquer. And not only am I going to conquer, but I'm going to help women from around the world also heal their relationship with food. I had a deep level of faith. Instead of saying, why me? When a challenge came up, I said, my breakthrough is coming. Thank you, challenge, for being here. I got to strengthen myself in order to have that breakthrough. It is the most fulfilling thing in the world when you overcome something that was actually a challenge. It wasn't a walk in the park. I had a client that I worked with. I'm still working with her inside of the Root and Rewire membership. She's inside of Conquer now, but she's been working with me and she has not had an easy journey. Like she would be the type of person that knew a lot of tools, right? She's like, I know that a trigger for me is stress. I know a trigger for me is my emotions. When I am emotional, I use food to comfort myself. She knew that. But every time she would get stressed or anxious or overwhelmed, and she knew a different way to regulate her nervous system, she would just eat. It was so habitual. But finally, she came on a coaching call and she said, like, I have had one of the most stressful periods of my life. And for the first time in my life, I have not used food for comfort. And that was her breakthrough moment. Everybody is going to have a breakthrough. Your breakthrough moment is coming. When? I don't know. Tomorrow, in a week from now, in 2 months from now, I don't know. But can you keep the faith? Can you keep going when you don't see it working? You will not have your breakthrough if you pull the plug. You will not experience your breakthrough if you say, it's too challenging, it's too hard, and you just give up. There's something so powerful about committing long-term to your journey. This is why my programs, the membership, is 6 or 12 months. Not because it's going to take forever, but because when you commit long-term, you are saying to yourself, I am committed, I am all in, I am conquering binge eating, I am healing my relationship with food sustainably, and this is going to be the last time I'm going to work on my relationship with food because I'm going to be healed. You say to yourself, I'm doing this. You have a level of faith that no matter what challenge presents itself, I am doing this. That was me. I had no idea how long it was going to take for me to conquer. I had no idea. All I knew is that I was going to conquer because I was not going to spend the rest of my life with food thoughts, not being present with my husband, being snappy with him, and then literally crying because I felt so guilty of how I was speaking to him, and it didn't feel like the real me. And he would come home and be so happy to see me, and I was so uncomfortable in my own skin because I just binged, and I didn't want that anymore. Like I knew that that wasn't the life that God planned for me. And so you can look at a challenge and be pissed off, like, why me? Why is it here? Oh, another binge. Oh my God, why do I keep thinking about food? You can look at these challenges as like, why me, and become frustrated and pull the plug and say, I'm just going to struggle with food for the rest of my life. Or you can look at these challenges and say, thank you, God, for putting this challenge in my life. It is strengthening me. It is building up my resiliency, and my breakthrough moment is coming. But first, I might need a break a little bit, but it's okay because my breakthrough is coming. If you are willing to be in the discomfort, to be with the challenges, if you're willing to let yourself break a little bit and experience a rough patch, you will have your breakthrough. The people who just want a quick fix, the people who just want the breakthrough without letting themselves break, they're not going to be the people that conquer. But you are going to be the one who conquers, because when a challenge is presented to you, you stop saying, why me? And you give the challenge a little wink and you say, bring it freaking on. I got this. And that's how I know you're going to conquer. Because challenges will be presented in your journey. Whether your urges are so strong and it's very difficult for you to not give in, whether your husband makes a comment about how much you're eating and that triggers the heck out of you, maybe you put on an outfit and you're like, this body does not even feel like mine. And there's some body image issues. Like, there's going to be challenges on your journey. But if you can rise above the challenges and not look at it as like, I'm not making progress, like I'm going backwards, but you lean in and you say, my breakthrough moment is coming. I just have to get through this challenge. You are going to freaking conquer no matter what. And then when you do, you're going to be so damn proud of yourself, because when you look back at your journey, it wasn't easy, but that's what makes it freaking worth it. You feel even more proud of yourself because of what you had to do to get there. When I think about birthing my son into this world and what I had to do those 9 months in preparation, but also the birth itself and, the intense labor and all of that, it's like, it makes having him here so much more like he's the miracle. If it was just like, here, snap your fingers, pop a baby out, here's a kid, it wouldn't be as meaningful. But it's like you birthed somebody into this world, and it was a long process, and you had to go through those crazy contractions, and you had to go through the challenges, you had to go through the fire. It makes it so much worth it. So stop expecting your journey to not have challenges. It would be the most boring thing, and also it would not be rewarding. You think you want a journey to conquering binge eating that's smooth sailing, no challenges. I thought I wanted that, because who wants strong urges? Who wants a negative comment? But being somebody on the other side, I am so grateful for those challenges because it strengthened me. It built up so much resiliency within me. I feel like I can conquer anything. And you will be able to experience that as well too. At one point, somebody's going to make a comment about your body and you're like, okay, but I love who I am. Someone's going to say to you like, oh, whoa, you're eating all that. And you're going to be like, yeah, the food's so freaking delicious. Instead of getting triggered, you own your choices unapologetically. Instead of not wanting somebody to comment on your body because it triggers the heck out of you to either restrict or binge, you're going to get to a point where you're like, yeah, someone's probably going to tell me I look good right now because I feel my best. And also I know how freaking good I am taking care of myself. And I actually feel like I'm in a body that actually feels like mine. And that's the greatest thing in the world. So challenges are inevitable. In order to experience a breakthrough, you might have to break. Or again, you might not have, you might have to break. You will break in order to experience your breakthrough. But being on the other side and conquering binge eating is going to be so freaking worth it when you look at all of the challenges that you had to overcome, the person that you needed to be in order to get there, the strength that you've built through every challenge that you've walked through. You're going to be so grateful. I always say, one day you're going to look back at your life and literally be grateful for the challenges that you had to go through. because it makes the journey that much more rewarding. So anytime a challenge comes up, instead of saying, why me? Why me? Ugh, another challenge I don't think I can conquer. Look at it as an opportunity for you to strengthen yourself and remind yourself, my breakthrough is coming, my breakthrough is coming, my breakthrough is coming, because it absolutely is. So thank you for being here. Have a beautiful rest of your day, you guys. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.